Greetings. My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you because you're watching. Thank you. Welcome. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, the core and core, and anyone interested in thriving and surviving, or surviving first and then thriving as a Pilates instructor. Sometimes you go in and out of surviving and thriving. But that's the purpose, who the broadcast is for, and usually there's notes involved, and the notes come during the workout that happened previously to the recording, this broadcast, and that workout for me is the intermediate reformer sequence with a couple stretches before and a recording after. The first of the four is the future of Pilates. And somewhere social media went by that there's something happening to do with the future of Pilates. And I actually wrote and asked what might overlap between between my view of the future of Pilates and theirs. And I'll probably live to regret that. But a jeweler once said that you must know before whom you stand, and about what the nature of the job was or whatever. But I think just in general, any human being must recognize the nature of the world in which they stand, or crawl, or walk, or run through, right? Jump through, movement. And so, future of Pilates. I have to get out of the way first. A standard comment back in the day, when someone asked a question and the response was, stick around and find out. I think that was in response to the question about, is there going to be a test today? And the teacher would say, stick around and find out. And so when it comes to the future of Pilates, one way to embrace the notion of that is to know that when you stick around, you'll find out. And well, and see, that runs into my first point about that is, my first question of that is, when it comes to the future of Pilates, to what extent do you have any say at all? At all. My voice cracked, right? And to what extent do you have any say at all? And so when we talk about the future of Pilates, to what extent I think of is, what does that matter to me, and how does that influence my plans on surviving as a Pilates instructor? And I only know of and speak of one way of doing that, which is through this ideal point of view. But when it comes to the future of Pilates, who's really to say? And the only way to find out what the future of Pilates becomes is to stick around. It helps me look at Pilates as an encapsulation of human nature in a broader level, and that within human nature and within Pilates, the future of something has to do with, I would start with insurance companies. Because the reason you buy insurance is to protect yourself about what happens in the future. Okay, that's a pretty good stream of logic there. I wasn't aware I had in me. And that's why I always say that as a Pilates instructor, have your own insurance. Pay for your own insurance, no matter who else says they have you insured or whatever, right? Go with an insurance company and have your own personal insurance that covers what you do as a Pilates instructor. Because that matters, because we all want to survive what happens in the future, and that's why we take out insurance. And that rings true with Pilates for me, because Joseph Pilates was a survivor, and I think of his method as survival training. And one of the first things you can do to prepare for what comes up in the future is to have insurance. And that brings to mind the next and see right there, the individual and the group connect. And then another group that wishes to connect to all the individuals are, of course, unions by their nature. They're a collective in some way that seeks to make a distinction that you welcome and endorse and embrace and pay for, more importantly, pay for, being a member of that group. Okay. Those groups, unions, collectives, whatever word you want to use, that seek to survive, provide the function for insurance companies of developing credentials that the insurance company can then issue the insurance based upon. And that's human nature, and I think that's the human dynamic at work, right? And then when companies other than unions come into play, you've got typically manufacturers that make stuff for the Pilates culture. But long before there were any but a handful or one or two manufacturers, there were students of the method and the teachers in schools that come out of that. That provide the training to get the distinction that the union sanctifies in order for insurance to be granted. So there's all of that to be involved, and that is the same is true in any part of humanity. And the Pilates instructor, to survive, has to be able to participate in that to get insurance. So I'm professing it's a good idea to have insurance, and encourage everyone else to as well, for whatever comes up in the future of your involvement as a Pilates instructor. So the future of Pilates has all of those interests, like a pecking order of insurance companies, unions, corporations, schools, da-da-da, hold sway in or influence what is projected as or insured as being Pilates. And so to some extent, to talk about who decides or who defines, it's important to at least recognize where within that spectrum of getting insurance to protect yourself as a Pilates instructor, as well as everything else, the future of Pilates will be the outcome of all of those influences that are all very personally attached to their passion for Pilates and any income streams that might be involved. So, for me, the future of Pilates is what you make of it. And that will apply at least to whatever Pilates is to you, that matters to you, where you have at least participated in the culture of humanity enough to be insurable and make of it from there what you wish. And so the future of Pilates, from a personal point of view, is whatever you make of it, within the realm and capability of being insured for whatever improvisation you wish to make of it. Or where you wish to go as the instructor, that's more refined than even the insurance that you need to do what you do. It's a personal bias, I guess. The future of Pilates. All right, to end off this number one topic, title, subject, in Michael Miller trademark video broadcasts, from an MMP point of view, so 1 out of 10,000 other views, Pilates will be the same thing in the future that it is right now. So it took me some humming and hawing and getting around to all of the influencers of what Pilates gets projected as being or being believed in. And it's just one belief out of 10,000 that there's an ideal within Joe's work so complete that it supports all of the other views. So the future of Pilates is how, from my point of view, the revelation of what it is influencing perception of it, because it's an ideal, and especially it points to an experience, and that experience is real. At least in my opinion and from my point of view, it's sensational, and um, is the meat and potatoes of being a Pilates instructor, is finding joy in the 55 minutes you have with that person, hopefully having moments of the experience throughout that time period, throughout any time period. Takes me to number 2. Pilates, from just one person talking about this enigma wrapped inside of a puzzle. Pilates will always take you as deep as you want to go, or not. That's the best part, is you don't have to embrace it any more than you want to. I'd say get insurance, get that point of insurance, and then you're off and running doing whatever you want to do. And the future of Pilates, I don't think is going to change much, other than what it's already changed into, which is a fricassee of special interests, all adding their distortion to what it actually is. Because it's tough to monetize an idea. Or not. Deep as you want to go. Why do I mean that? I mean that Pilates, or MMP, will take you as deep as you want to go, because it's about diving into your concentration in the pursuit of the purpose of the exercise. And you can't stay there forever, so you come back up to the surface. But while you're in there, and the depths to which you're diving is a coordination of what you can sense to your control of your movement. And that by being present and thinking and observing, it's the connection of the observing to the thinking that allows for a deeper more concentrated effort that comes out in the movement that you express. And it takes you as deep as you can go in that, or want to go in that, because a lot of people don't even want to get involved in coordinating one of or any of those capacities. And certainly the fricassee of influencers in Pilates have their own roles to play that have less to do with you individually and what you draw upon to be a Pilates instructor. Because we talked yesterday, didn't we, about how do I know if I make something up and is it Pilates? Well, I have one realm. If you're certified and you have insurance, then whatever you make up, why not calling that Pilates? And if that's not the case, then what other place do you go to for a sense of isness? The verb to be is. And so from within MMP, the depth that you go to in your concentration is intricately woven into your capacities in observing and thinking and being, and the effort that you make in coordinating them based off of what's coming out of the sensation involved in the effort. It's like dancing. Couple. Someone that leads and someone that doesn't, as old style dancing kind of thing. And just as that being, whatever that relationship is, regardless of attaching a value to it, it's the it's the disappearance in, okay, and that's where it goes as deep as you want to go, for me wanting to go, because it's through observing. Nick Herbert, quantum reality, through observing that we get a world reflected to us that's that connects you to the universe, which means non-local. I was getting confused between the technical word is non-local, and by being non-local, it means you're not only here, but you're also connected to the universe from a distance. And that superluminal, the other aspect of observing, means faster than light. So you're saying that this connection is happening, or happens, or is something that is faster than light. Superluminal and non-local. Connection to the universe faster than light. And in that, therein is the mystery and the sense of presence that the pursuit of Pilates gives you, and the capacity embodied through the pursuit of the idealness within the choreography. It's profound. It's right above the bottom. It's, for me, the human being's response to the world that it finds itself in, the reality that it finds existence in. And I don't talk much about in the body that it's in, meaning the biology that we exist within. And there's a lot of attention paid to that, and my focus has always been, or attraction has been, to the physics that the biology accomplishes, and both matter. Number 3. When you instruct, you stand in the light. Just my opinion, my point of view. And from that point of view called MMP, which looks at the ideal, the light is the ideal itself. And immutable, I think, means unchangeable. And in that regard, the light that you're standing in, that is, for me, in this point of view, the essence of what it is, that will only become more apparent in the future of Pilates. And yet, the future of Pilates on a much broader scale will be whatever the result of the fricassee is.